Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Play Obduction. Before we get started with this game, I wanted to let you guys know what's been happening and what you can expect to see on the channel here this year, and then we'll talk about the game briefly and before we get started. So where exactly have I been the last few months? Well, as I mentioned in my previous Let's Play, I've actually been really busy with a big project at work that came to a close earlier in 2016. However, the next few months were filled with a lot of cleanup and follow-up, as you can expect from a huge project. Thankfully, things are finally calming down now, and I can devote more time to the channel. Over the last few months, I've been reconsidering what I want to do for the channel, since things have changed as far as my goals for what I want to do here. The big thing I really want to address is kind of the homogeneity of the content here. A lot of the material I've been posting has been very much Chips Challenge related, not only because it's my favorite game, but because it offers a practically endless supply of potential gameplay, and I really like it a lot. However, I recognize that not everyone likes Chips Challenge, and I want to provide some other material here as well, and particularly more recent games. Unfortunately, my 10-year-old iMac that I was using to record Let's Plays is not exactly the most ideal computer with which to do that. So recently I went out and purchased a brand new gaming laptop. It's portable and very efficient and very nice, both graphically and speed-wise, and it's just been a marvel at playing very recent, more graphically intense games, such as the one you're about to watch. So because of that, I've been rethinking what I want to do for the channel, what kinds of games I want to provide Let's Plays for and whatnot, and this is the first game that came to mind. Not only because it was a recent game that I played, but also because I've received some requests to play through it. So toward that end, I'm going to be playing through Obduction as my first game of 2017. I'm also hoping to be tackling other games this year, and speaking of Chips Challenge, I will be playing through CCLP 1 at some point this year. I'll also be playing through, or I should say, I'll also be restarting that Let's Play, since I'm on a different computer now. Additionally, I have no plans to continue the Knights of the Old Republic 2 Let's Play for now, unless there's just that much of a request for it. I didn't really receive a lot of feedback on that Let's Play, or interactions on the videos, so I don't think it was exactly a Let's Play that's seemed to capture a lot of people's attention, but if there is that much of a cry for it, then I will definitely consider restarting it, or continuing it. So, on to Obduction. This game was released in August of 2016, and it was actually a rather interesting experience for me, because this is the game that the first game that I've actually kickstarted. This was a crowd-funded game put out by Cyan Worlds, who developed the classic adventure games Myst and Riven, the latter of which I've played here on the channel. Myst and Riven were certainly some of my favorite childhood games growing up, and when Cyan announced that they wanted to publish another game that was in the same vein, I instantly jumped at the opportunity to kickstart this. Mainly just because I really appreciate their commitment to developing immersive worlds and good storylines and good gameplay. And Myst and Riven certainly had all of those things in spades. So how does Obduction live up to that standard? Well, we'll have to see how things go. But I'll definitely provide my review for the game at the very end. And there will be plenty of time for it because the credits are quite long, as you might expect from a Kickstarter. So, before we get started here, let me just let you guys know what's going on. This is the main menu screen, as you can see. I've set the settings here for the graphics to epic for most things, which is the high setting. And I've got pretty much the ultimate, or, well, not the ultimate, because this is not the VR version of the game, but the highest I can go for my PC as far as resolution. So this is definitely going to be the most graphically intense game that I've Let's Played so far. So this is going to be hopefully good. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes. The other thing that's worthy of note is that my computer has occasional stutters when it comes to inputs. There may be points in the game where the input is delayed a little bit and we just have to wait a few seconds for everything to calm down. But hopefully those moments will be few and far between, so just hang tight. We're going to start a new game, and I'll just call this game LP. You can choose, thankfully Cyan has offered you a couple of options here. You can choose the free roam navigation, which we will go with, but if you're a classic Myst fan, you can also use the point-and-click mode, which allows you to travel between nodes in the world that are predefined. The point-and-click mode, by the way, is actually a very effective way of ensuring that you can get out of a stuck, or like a point where you're stuck, which is kind of nice. And you can choose a male or a female character shadow, or you can turn it off. I'm going to just go with the male character shadow. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so it looks like we are out in the woods here. You can see some control things up there. You can go use escape to access the menu and whatnot. Hopefully we won't be doing that too much throughout the game. And as you can see, we can use the WASD keys to move around. And it looks like we're in some area by a lake here. Looks like a campground, judging by the picnic tables there.
We all lost everything. Everything but our stories. And they shouldn't be forgotten. I was 3. It was April of 1983. Cecil, it was 1870 for you.
Whoa.
Sam and Vera, you tell it like it was yesterday, but it's been 62 years since you saw that blast of light.
Looks like there's a pretty bad lightning storm going on over there, but we also saw something that didn't look very natural happening in this area. Alright. Looks like this is indeed a campsite. No swimming. Oh, I'm certainly not inclined to do that in a lightning storm, so we'll stay away from the lake. Use only designated campfire pits. That's where we came from, so let's just keep moving.
Light. That's where all of our new stories began. It streaked across the sky, mesmerizing, but unnerving. Even in daylight, Joseph, you said it was gloriously bright. But in the twilight, it was spellbinding. Whether it was in the deep woods like Cecil or right outside town like Jane and Jenny, we were drawn to see more. Vera, you said you recall smiling. Some of you were alone. I wasn't. My dear grandma, God bless her, rejoiced as if it was some forebearer of good fortune. Grandma lifted me from the carriage on the porch and walked into the yard so we could watch it unobstructed. None of us understood, but, well, we followed, and we all felt some kind of trepidation, and yet attraction. So we approached it, and it approached us.
I can't move anymore, so it looks like something's about to happen
You
here.
all remember, there was no turning away. It advanced, almost like purposefully, spinning slowly until, well, it found us, each of us. We should tell these stories because it saved us, and there must be.
Whoa. Okay, that is weird. This is kind of a nice throwback to the Mist title screen that was very orange and black. We can also move around here with the particles swirling around. Oh, this is pretty strange. So what is that thing exactly? Oh, it looks like things are changing here around us. Whoa, okay. Well, clearly we're not by the lake anymore. Looks like there's a canyon right outside here. But the area that we're standing in looks remarkably like the campsite. And you can even see the some kind of husk here that featured that glowing thing that we saw earlier. Doesn't look like this goes anywhere. In fact, it seems like this has a clean cut here that is very clearly marked. And this area out here is completely different. So that's rather curious. There's a lantern here. And this is a really cool feature of this game. You can actually pick things up and move them around, which is rather nice. And interact with them, of course. In this case, we can turn the lantern on. Kind of strange lighting, but really neat, though. Well, I suppose we should go ahead and explore outside. Doesn't look like there's much else to do in here. Whoa. This is definitely a completely different landscape than where we came from, and... Wait a minute. What in the world? That doesn't look normal. Yeah. We're definitely not by the lake anymore, are we? That is a completely different area. Completely different world. Alright, well, this area that we're standing in looks like it could have come from Earth, though. What is this here? Welcome to Hunrath. There's a button here. Let's see what this does.
Hello, bonjour, ciao, hola, hello, shora, ni hao. Welcome to Hunrath. My name is Joseph. I am the mayor here. You are most probably a bit confused and disoriented. But let me reassure you, everything will be fine. You're not the first to go through this experience. The others who have come before you will help you adjust. Follow the trail to the house with the white picket fence. Fali will meet you there and introduce you to your new life here.
So it seems like we're not the first person to go through this. What in the world is this anyway? It's like some kind of imaging device, and it opened up when we walked toward it. It's still open even though the hologram's done playing. And it closes when we walk away. Interesting. And it opens yet again. Fascinating. Well, there's certainly a lot of history here that we probably have yet to discover. Well, that looks like a house over there. Is there a white picket fence to match? Hopefully there is. These rail tracks look like they could have come from Earth. And there's even switches for them. Interesting. I'm sure those will come in handy at some point. Well, this is certainly most curious. This house over here also seems to be transplanted in a very clean-cut manner, too. You can see a clean edge around here where this pavement is. And there's even hopscotch squares. Interesting. Alright, so this is Farley's house. Farley's Community Center. Okay, so it's more than just a home.
Hi, I'm Farley. I guess if you're seeing this, then I wasn't able... Just in case. Welcome. But it's probably not safe here. To be blunt, we're getting ready for a battle. I don't know what you'll find. I just thought I should just be cautious with who you trust. CW may be here. I don't know. Just be careful. I've got to go. See you soon. And don't panic. As jarring as this experience is, you really will find Hunrath to be a decent price.
Seems like there were two different messages recorded there. One of them was the standard welcome message, kind of like the one that the guy out there was giving us. But then there was a second one that was recorded over it in the middle that talked about a battle. It's probably a battle that's already happened, or maybe it's still happening. But whatever it is, it doesn't look like there's anyone around. We can go up to the door here, but yeah, it's locked. And we haven't seen any actual people around here yet. Warning, do not approach anything that even remotely resembles this diagram unless it has been disabled. Okay, so that kind of looks like a polyhedron kind of thing, with a pentagonal side there. We can't really open the windows or do anything like that, and this door is all boarded up, so that's useless. Nice little house, though. Can't do anything over here either, so it looks like this is a dead end, isn't it? Yep. Alright. I also noticed there was a mailbox out here. Let's check that real quick. To Caroline, or whomever else might come back. It has been 5 days and not a soul has returned. I am inclined to believe that things have not gone well. Yet surprisingly, I am still alive, and that both supremely perplexes me and gives me some portion of hope. I have retreated to my vault for protection and to contemplate my options. CW. Well, CW was mentioned in Farley's message. Farley, by the way, was the person narrating the opening sequence. It's kind of hard to tell, but she is the same voice. We can also lower and raise the flag, but I doubt that's really going to do much. Okay, so there's not really anything else to do here. Nice flowers, though. Let's take a look around. We skipped over some things here in the opening area because we wanted to go up and check the house out, so let's go investigate for a minute here. Gravestones. Let's see. Daniel Hartnell. And I can't really tell what the first year is. I think it's 1852 to 1893 or 5. I'm not sure. Anna Jackson. Loved by, I'm assuming that was supposed to originally say many, but it's been kind of damaged over the years. Margaret Hartnell. I can't see what that says except the word friend. And what do we have over here? This one doesn't have a name on it, but it has some years. It has 1852 to, maybe it's the same years as the one over there. Benjamin Sims. And then finally, Henry Hartnell, 1850 to 1895. Let's see, there's even more up here. This one got knocked over. Carl Hunrath. That name sounds familiar. John Farley and Robert Hartnell. Farley? Wonder if he's related to the Farley we saw down there. Luther Roscoe. And Ida Hartnell, 1835 to 1892. Fascinating. Alright. Well, we can see this crazy alien world out there up close. But we can't pass through. Well, that's kind of a bit of a bummer. Well, maybe it's for the best. We kind of want to stick around in good old familiar Earth-like territory, right? This is enough of a jarring transition as is without having to step out into the alien landscape, so maybe this is for the best right now. John Hartnell Sr., 1852, possibly, or is that 1812? I think it's 1812, to 1881. Beloved husband, father, grandfather, leader, friend. Mary Hartnell, 1815 to 1884, and Mama Mary, loved by all, was her nickname. Interesting. So we're getting a little bit of an idea of who used to live here. Now, we don't know if these people were actually in this landscape, presumably before it got transported to this weird world, because this looks very Earth-like, and the years are certainly Earth years. So I'm assuming these people lived on Earth. Or maybe they were people who were transported here, and the graves were made after they got here? We don't really know. It's also possible that maybe the gravestones were repurposed by whoever was, or whomever was transported here. Alright, so there doesn't really seem to be much else of note over here, but whoa, what is that? Okay, there is something over here, though. Gate. Some very strange rock structures that don't really look like they belong. Huh. That's curious. Well, this is even more curious. These rocks are glowing red. Not unlike the imagers that we saw down there. Curious if that means that the rocks are real, or maybe they are a sort of illusion or facade, like the holograms. Whatever they are, it seems like they are blocking our path somehow, so we can't really go through that. Let's go ahead and leave this area. And looks like we have another wall here that we can see the alien world through. The track also dead ends here, so this doesn't really lead anywhere particularly obvious, but at least we can see some of the different parts of the landscape, as well as some of the things that we might want to come back to later on once we figure out more about how the world works. I think at this point the remainder of, yeah, this is the path that we came from, so the remainder of this area we've already seen. Well, this just goes nowhere. Oh, well here's why. The rocks look like the same, like, red tinted ones that we saw up there. So if this is actually supposed to be cleared, and it looks like we can actually see stuff on the other side, then perhaps these rocks really are fake. Alright. So we've seen everything over there, so let's go ahead and head this way now. That is still really interesting. I wonder what that thing is. More switches. Although that's not exactly helping right now. And an Old West mining town. Well, you certainly don't see one of these things every day. Hartnell Mining Company. Hartnell Mercantile. Seems like the Hartnells were a pretty influential family in this town. Wonder if the town was called Hartnell. And it seems like these are the same rocks that we saw on the other side, so these are definitely rather suspicious. We're going to have to come back to that later. What have we got here? It looks like we've got several crates and barrels, and not an actual crate and barrel store, but close enough, I suppose. Another one of these warning signs. Buckets, boarded up rooms, a few drinks. Another area here with more boards. A tunnel. Is this a mine? What is this? Looks like there was meant to be light here. Oh. Our path is blocked by this chunk of rock. But it looks like a completely different type of rock than the stuff that we see here, so that's kind of a little weird. I really love the lighting effects in this game. Particularly how your eyes have to adjust when you see bright light. And this door, thankfully, is open. Looks like someone had a wagon out here. But they're not home. No one's around. That's pretty cool. So this is something really interesting that Cyan offered people the opportunity to do. On the Kickstarter for this game, there was an option to give a reward tier. Well, okay, let me back up for a minute. There's an amount of money that you could give that qualified you as a certain backer tier that allowed you to design an item to be used in the game. And there's actually several of these backer reward items sprinkled throughout. This one with all these fishy things is one of many, so we'll be seeing quite a few of these throughout the game. And I've turned on the backer reward notification things so that you can actually see which ones these are. It's kind of helpful because none of the backer reward items, at least to my knowledge, are useful in solving puzzles. So when you see them, you'll know that they're just backer reward items and not part of something that you have to solve. Looks like someone made their home here. There's a bunk bed, briefcase, and they were playing cards, although I don't know what kind of hand that would be. Maybe it's a secret code. Ooh, someone put pictures of their dog. That's really cute. Here's that strange rock that we saw earlier. Not much that we can do with it, though, but we can cross over into this side. Again, though, this is yet another chunk of stuff that doesn't really seem to belong here in a very spherical shape. If you follow the line, particularly on the outside where we were looking earlier, you can kind of see the outline is very circular. The same goes for Farley's house and the land it sits on as well. Oh, hey, another one of these things. Downtown Hunrath.
We have a healthy, thriving buildings around town serve multiple purposes, including housing, schooling, and storage. I'm sure you have run across a number of folks already.
Sadly,
Many
no.
were brought here, like you, and some actually were born here. We all feel we are part of the whole.
Sorry about the sound there. I accidentally bumped my mouse and it exited the game, or at least it didn't make the game the active window. But it's back now, and you're able to hear the rest of the message. So it sounds like not only were other people brought here like we were, but they formed a community, which seems to be headquartered in this town that has been called Hunrath. More boarded up buildings here. Stairs that seem to lead to something else, so I'm going to lead that for now. Well, that certainly doesn't look like it's part of the landscape. It's over here. Another tunnel. Anything interesting in the tunnel? By the way, you'll notice that... Oh, this is the other side of the rock. Okay. Again, you can kind of see the outline of it here. It's less obvious than the other side. You'll notice that sometimes I run and sometimes I walk. Generally, when I explore an area for the first time, I'm just going to walk unless there's a good reason to move forward. But that's mainly just because, you know, I want to allow everyone to take it in as they watch the video. There is going to be a lot of walking around back and forth, particularly later in the game. So I'll probably utilize the run option then. But at least for now, I'm just going to keep things the way they are. Now that I've actually got more freedom to do editing on this computer, hopefully I can actually use that. And this looks like it could be dangerous, but that beam is coming from up there, and I'm not seeing any obvious way to get there other than just walking through, since this is all fenced in. So, I suppose... Okay, we survived. That's good. Maybe whoever set this up put it there so that someone who is unfamiliar wouldn't try going through. Or maybe this beam is designed to harm somebody in particular. Who knows? Anyway, we have another track switcher here. A red button. Usually you shouldn't ever push big red buttons, right? Well, that one doesn't seem to do anything particularly harmful, at least. This right here doesn't seem to go anywhere. But we can see above us that there's something that's, at least it's supposedly designed to slide on these things. It's positioned right above us, and these little slider things seem designed to hold it. There's little wheels or something on that, so maybe we'll figure out a way to lower that down. This beam definitely does seem intentionally placed, though. I'm curious to know why that's there. Also, this beam is shooting up into the sky, and it's colored like the hologram. Now, we can see that it dead ends way up there, so maybe this is what's causing the alien world to appear outside, or maybe it's causing us to be blocked from accessing it or something. Or maybe it's causing the illusion of the alien world. We don't really know. I mean, it seems to cause illusions with the holograms and with possibly with the rocks, so maybe it's doing something similar? Let's head in here. Oh wait, we already went in there. Duh. Let's head in this way. Well, that's certainly curious. Looks like this is the big vault door or something. And we read earlier about a guy named CW who's locked himself away in his vault. Farley had also mentioned that he may be here, so we'll explore this and try out this button in the next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, this is a completely new type of setup, you know, as far as recording Let's Plays and stuff. I haven't been able to get my headphones to work, so one thing I forgot to mention earlier is that the sound may echo a little bit. I'm hoping that the speakers aren't loud enough that that will be the case, but I'll try to deal with this as we go forward. The headphone jack, for whatever reason, isn't working on my laptop, so I've tried to make sure that the game audio can be recorded without it, you know, echoing or anything. And my test runs seem to be successful, but I don't really know if it will be that way long term, so fingers crossed. If you like this video, be sure to like and comment, or tell a friend. You know, it's always nice to have new people here on the channel. Lets me know that I'm doing something right. It gives me encouragement to keep going, and that you guys like this, so that's really helpful. And in any case, I'll see you guys next time. Feel free to let me know if there's something you'd like to see here during the Let's Play. I'm definitely open to suggestions, so catch you next time on the flip side. Take care, and I will see you then.